Hey, all. Dark Gems podcast number 19 here. Jack 86, White Boy Beats. Our guest, the one and only Mr. Travis,
Colin.
Colin
It's Colin. See,
Collins.
yeah.
S at the end?
Colin.
Colin, no
Yeah.
S. My apologies.
No, you're
Travis Collin. So, friend, we picked you up. We heard you, the owner of Laughing Waters there in Rochester, stopped
Yes,
by the
sir.
other day. Blake and I did.
Yep.
Picked up a couple of drinks. He had a new employee there.
Yep.
He,
Things are
he
good.
was he was good people. He was good
Yes.
people. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, man.
Love it. Yeah, I'm here to spread the word, man. Spread the word on the legal marijuana.
Absolutely, just got
Marijuana
legalized
is
in Minnesota
legalized
recently.
August 1st, and what's today, the 23rd? So we're 3 weeks of enjoying marijuana legally.
Yes, sir.
It's been a great 3 weeks. I've enjoyed them. This is the best summer of my life for sure.
Absolutely. You know, I've been a marijuana enthusiast the majority of my life. Long story short, I was born with cerebral palsy. There's
Really?
three kinds of cerebral palsy. There's spastic, where your muscles get just vibrating almost all the time, where your muscles are too hard, and then that's it. There's too much cortisol in your system, and too loose, where you'll see people that literally can't control their limbs at all because of that. Mine is a little bit too spastic and a little bit too hard. All right, I've been on all sorts of medications from fucking birth to until I was like 17. Started smoking weed consistently, I'd say maybe around 14, 15 years old, but couldn't tell the doctors, couldn't tell my grandma, couldn't tell my parents that this is what I'm doing to make me feel
Yeah.
better. Dude, I broke down in tears at 15 because I could bend down and touch my toes. I had grown adults in physical therapy yanking on my
Wow.
body. I've had surgeons cut me open and try to
That's amazing, bro.
move shit around.
You didn't tell me that. I didn't know any of that.
Couple of hits of weed and then just
Hit
some
this.
breath work and some focus.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great, man.
So weed has changed my entire existence, the entire way that I interface
That's
on the planet.
amazing.
So
That's
to have
amazing.
someone like you bring in that business where you can get that product consistently and safely
Yeah.
and just do it when you need to, right? There's
Well, okay, I can't quite sell marijuana out of their balls to the walls yet,
okay.
but man, that's an amazing story.
Thank you.
Truly, like, wow, that's the thing. What blows my mind about the plant. My first thing I learned, like, since the cannabis industry is new to Minnesota, it just got legalized. So now it's like, it's big time. Now it's game time. Everything else was kind of like, it was good. A lot of people did a lot of good things, but now it's different. So now that it's legalized, it's just, I've been learning the plant means so much to so many different people. I have my passionate thing about the plant, and everybody else has their thing about the marijuana plant. They're passionate, and hearing stories like that just blows my mind.
Well, thank you.
You
Thank
know,
very much
like,
for listening.
blows my mind, bro. Like, I can't believe it's been illegal, and I'm so grateful to the politicians that finally
Yes.
stepped up in Minnesota from the younger generation, the Democrat, the DFL, and got it legalized so people like you can get their medicine and people like me can stop going to prison providing medicine to people like you.
100%. 100%.
Yes. Oh, I'm so grateful. Like, I can't even tell. It's a feeling that I've never felt before.
Right.
Crazy.
Because you're okay, business is one thing,
Yeah.
profit is another,
Yeah.
comfortability
It's
on
nothing.
that level is
Yes.
it's a thing and it's important, right?
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
why I work a job, it's why everybody
Yeah.
does their 9 to 5, right? But being able to give, right? Being able to give musically and performance-wise, dude, that's fucking incredible, right?
Oh, yeah.
Think of your favorite song. There, it's in
Yeah.
my head. Got
Yeah.
it. These guys perform music and do their thing too. But when you're giving in a way that legitimately, moment to moment, betters just existence.
Yeah, no, music, I would say that's a good comparison because I remember when I was in prison, real quick, I'll tell the audience I did 8 years in federal prison at 21 for marijuana.
Went in at 21, got
Went in
out
at 21, I got
29.
indicted. Yep, got the leader organizer enhancement, so that made it like, so my prison time was where I was going to higher securities right away if I got in trouble. Everything was, it was 4 extra years, just the federal guidelines is like the secret system that a lot of people don't know about, and that's my goal of raising awareness. I don't know how I got into that, but I'm raising awareness about people in federal prison for marijuana through Freedom Grow. That's
Through Freedom Grow. That's
Well,
Freedom
through
Grow.
Travis Cullen and Freedom Grow for sure. They're the vessel. They're these ladies out of California that have been fighting for people's rights and marijuana inmates. And unbelievably, they tell me the story. Like they'll go to a court trial if a guy's looking at big time. The ladies from Freedom Grow stand out there with posters that say jury nullification is legal. Like if you don't think he should go to jail for marijuana, you can vote no.
Wow.
Like, yeah, they're like everything within the law to fight the bad law, because most people like myself that have been in prison don't really want to go back if we don't have
Absolutely
to.
Not. No, not for trafficking a wonderful, life-changing plant.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no.
a lot of that was a lot of that comes with the complications of the operation, right? If you have a super sophisticated operation, the federal government's more likely to get involved. And if there's more money at stake and there's more value people involved, because I did 8 years. So the fun thing about me doing 8 years in federal prison, I was in a lot of prisons. I was very young and I wanted to be out on the yard, as they say. So I talked to everybody in there. So I just remember hearing their stories.
Sure.
And hearing like how they made a mistake and something happened. And it's like, boom, your life's gone.
Right.
Like mine was literally, I woke up in the morning, March 23rd, 2003. I picked up the phone. I called my driver. I was like, yo, where you at? He was bringing loads of pot back from California, swag. I'm like the last idiot got caught with brickweed, you know?
Okay.
We had 700 pounds. It was a regular thing at the time. That's the life I was living, 2004 or whatever. I was 21. He got caught. He had already got caught in South Dakota, and he set up my best friend, Ben, my homie his dad. I love him to death. Yeah. He set me up on the phone. I was already on the phone. I was like, yo, what are you doing with where you at? I was like, where you at? I was like, where you at, bro? Because it was like, I knew it was time. He got loaded up out there by some people, and he got sent to me. And I sent him out there, and he got sent back. And I knew I knew the low was coming, and he got popped in South Dakota because he was rushing like just like an idiot, and at night, speeding or whatever. But it wasn't his fault. It was just a bad plan anyway. It was going to go down, but he decided to flip right away. Boom.
Okay.
So immediately, like, okay, yeah, boom, like 10 minutes. Travis Cullen, he's the organizer. So then he set up my best. So then I had to go to work. I had a restaurant at the time.
Okay.
And then I went to work, and then I had my best friend, my business partner. We were pretty much in it together. But I was more orchestrating all the bullshit. And I'll never forget it, man. He got 5 years. I got fucking 11. Simple mistake.
Simple mistake.
I was on the toilet. I was on the toilet. I knew I was like, yo, where you at? My best friend wouldn't have told on me there. If I wouldn't have been on that phone call, I would have never went to jail. He was like, I was like, yo, where you at? He's like, I'm a rider, man. And then he said to me, you want me to leave it in the truck? I said, hell yeah, I want you to leave it in the truck. It's fucking 700 pounds of weed, dude. Yeah.
Right.
You know, I didn't say it like that, but I was like, yeah, leave it in the truck, but boom, popped. So I just admitted it's all mine.
Okay.
I admitted I'm in control.
Yes.
Done.
That's
all they
needed.
In the state, Joe Freeberg, and he saved my life. So
Okay.
I went up against a horrible prosecutor.
Joe.
Oh yes, we're still very tight because it was such a crazy ordeal we went through, and he liked the way I handled it, I believe. But yeah, Joe's the man. Yeah, no, he's a dear friend. But yeah, I had a bad prosecutor, and the prosecutors in the federal government have way too much power, so they indict you, right?
Right.
It's just a whole fucking ordeal. I ended up with 11 years. They're telling all your friends or you get 11 years. We fought it. I ended up doing 8. We appealed.
Got 11.
Yeah, the prosecutor asked for the max every time I got sentenced. So he asked for 20 years. Like, literally, I'm looking at him like, you fucking prick. Right there next to me, 20 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and if the judge wouldn't win for it, I'd still be in. That's how it goes in those courts. I've seen 54 years get handed out.
54 years.
Before lunch at the U.S. District Courthouse in fucking Minneapolis. 54 years. And this one day back in 2004, December 22nd, 2004. 54 years before lunch they gave out in the U.S. courthouse. Yep. Hell yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable to hear.
And then I was in the bullpen where everybody got 54, and then they got the other bullpen where all the fucking where all the rats are. I don't mean to swear. I can't stop swearing. Where all the rats are.
You can swear.
No, when you're 41, you got to stop. I've been told by people I respect and love to stop swearing, so.
You had a good few decades dropping
did.
some F-bombs,
Dropping
cussing
some
him.
it's such a powerful, like, you say fuck, everyone's like, oh, that mother, yeah, he's something else, you know, but you got to just go with the times.
You
know what
got
I
to
mean?
calm it down just a touch.
Yeah.
Take it from an 11 down to a 10.
Yeah.
Spinal tap.
But I tell you, back to you. Since I've been working at the store, it's amazing that,
Right.
and it's just nothing more than older ladies that are so like, oh my God, I need something for pain and I don't want to eat. I don't want to get hooked on pain pills. And it's
Correct.
like, it's so nice that the, you know, I'm not a politician or anything. Dude, I went down to the hearings, right?
Okay.
And I watched them myself, all of them, activists, boom. I was up there cheering. I met an amazing lady named Susan Smith, and she's been in SNIT, and she's been in it forever, right? And I told her my my story, and she brought me along. And I went down there, and I started figuring out with the activists and the other companies, and there's some good lobbyists down there, but the Republicans suck. Like what they were saying was terrible. Like I haven't paid. I grew up a Democrat, right, as a kid.
Okay.
And I haven't paid much attention to politics at all. But I was treated. So I explained my. It was a funny story. I met this wonderful politician, right, Jess Hansen, and real quick, I told her my story, right.
Right.
I said I met her through Freedom Grow because I do these things. I told her my story. She said, "You went to prison for 8 years for marijuana when you're 21. I'm so sorry that happened to you." Blah, 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 blah. Next thing I know, next day. On the opening day of First Avenue, August 1st, I'm down at down there in backstage with Jesse Ventura, everybody like legalized weed, and I had Zach Stevenson, the rep with red hair, look me in my eye in the backstage and say, "Travis, I am so sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry that happened to you." And he meant it. He meant it. Those people meant it. I explained what happened because like it just happened to me, bro. I've done granite countertops since I've come home. I didn't know how to use a tape measure. I knew I wanted to do construction. I wasn't too keen on going back into being a marijuana dealer. So I didn't even pay attention. And then I heard, oh, they legalized gummies. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, it's weed. I'm a hell of a smoker. I'm like you.
Mm-hmm.
I got ADHD off the chain. I like weed. Helps me concentrate. I've been doing it for granted for a long time. So I'm like, man, I'm getting into this. I buy a gummy machine. We get into that. One thing leads to another. I'm selling weed, and I got a store, and I quit granite.
And he quit granite. He quit doing the hard labor.
Yeah. I listened to my passion, and it's two-faceted. We can give the medicine to people like you, and I can help my people in prison.
Yeah, please flash that up. Flash that up. Let's talk about that.
Freedom Grow. Help my people in prison.
Folks, that's freedomgrow.org. You can find information here about Alfredo Gutierrez.
Yeah, Alfredo. Betty's about to get out.
Betty Jenkins.
Betty Jenkins. There's many more.
Find more.
Valerie Flores. So I just her today.
Okay.
We sent her money, Laughing Waters. We're like pretty. She's in Wasika Federal Prison. I talked to her today. She's like, there's fights every day. It's going down in here. Wasika's right down the road, bro.
Yes.
And like I figured they were doing crochet and fucking knitting in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And no, it's going down in there. They're upset that the federal sentencings are harsh. They're harsh. Federal sentences are harsh. Everybody's getting a lot of time.
That's a shame where if you go to prison for a non-violent crime, marijuana, and in your case being the person that, for a lack of a more technical term, orchestrated leader, right? You were the name, you were the face of the
I met the definition of what they said, but I wasn't like in charge. I'm always just I roll with my brothers, you know what I mean? I feel like we have one life to live.
Yes.
And honesty and integrity is everything. And so I wasn't the leader of shit. I was just
fair enough.
With my brothers, I'm a go-getter. I'll call myself that. I'm the man in charge. If I have a friend and they have a problem, I'm charging into that problem. Or I'm not going to bother being friends with them.
Right.
Most of my friends have to tell me to stop when someone else starts a problem with them. But there's
fair
other
enough.
people.
That's a good friend to have.
Yeah, but there's people that can make me stop too. Everybody, you know.
You always need that balance. No, what I was gonna say is
love.
It's a shit. Yes,
love
absolutely.
is the key to the world. And I'll tell you real quick because I don't got a lot of time. So when you're in prison, it's like you die, right? You're dead.
Okay.
Nobody gives a shit about you. I was talking to Valerie today. You know how guys are on the internet. Girl would have so many fucking guys the second she's pretty, right? They don't give a fuck.
Yes.
But anyways, so when you're in prison, you're dead, right? It's basically the closest you can be to dead, especially when they transfer you far away, like the feds like to do. So you're lost from the street. So the only thing that I was remembered by was my kind, loving, good acts and being a good dude. Like that's the only thing that got me through anything. I learned when I went to prison, I wasn't that tough.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's really fucking tough people in there. You know what I mean? And like,
Yes.
I would fought and stood up for myself, but that's much different than being like, I'm badass. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
like, yeah, you just want to do right things all the time and you'll be fine in anything you do. You know, that's it.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's what I try for.
And mixing people that are trafficking marijuana with people that are violent, that, just like me discovering that marijuana is the thing that saved my physicality.
But the government made marijuana violent, so it's the same.
Yes.
It's the same. We were all. It's not like, oh, the weed guy's here, he's soft. It's like, yo, the weed dude's here. You know what I mean? Like the government. Now we're reclassifying and bringing people into society, and it's a beautiful thing. And the younger generation won't have to deal with this.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
This BS.
Yeah, I mean, propaganda like Reefer Madness back in the day, the idea that marijuana and violence should be this intermingled thing, when in the same way that I found that plant at a young age and it legitimately saved my physicality, my emotional everything, amazing. Just my life in general, it can go the exact opposite way if you're in that system and then you're mixed in with violent people and you were never a violent person, let's say, before you go in, all of a sudden you're mixed in with that, you don't get the same opportunities. I'm sure you've got some fantastic stories.
I'm not violent, but there's a lot of jerks in the world, you know, but I'm not violent at all. Being violent is the most disgusting thing. It's fun to fight a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun to
tussle.
But
like, man, the consequences of violence are sad mothers and sad people everywhere, you know? Right. But I like to not. That's why I always try to be respectful, because I don't want to have my mother be sad or have. I try to respect everybody, and that's just the way I love to live my life.
100%.
Because I've seen people be rude, and it didn't work out for them that well at all. Yeah, and then nobody, no matter how big you are, that's what I remember too about prison. No matter how big you are, how much money you are, you're a human being. We're all the same. I have ADHD very bad. I have like I struggle concentrating like you, bro. Like everybody's got something with them.
Yes.
And it's like, man, nobody's better than anybody. And then you get people in this life that think they can manipulate and use people and not and waste your time. Yeah, and waste your time and waste your energy.
Yes.
And that's when I start stepping in and like you got to equalize that shit. Like, man, you want to do this? Oh, okay. How about not? You know what I mean? And then, you know, usually it works out. You got to be right though. If you're wrong, especially in prison, man, if you're wrong, oh boy, you got to be right. You got to have good paperwork. You just got to live a good life or you're not going to make it. That's how I do it out here. I don't drink.
Okay.
Same thing. I just live a good life. It's going pretty well, you know?
Perfect. No, man, that's
my mom wants me to get married, but you know, hey.
Any prospects? Any young ladies out there?
Got some ideas, but I don't know if they are. Say they have the same.
You don't know if they got the same intentions there, my friend. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what are you passionate about now that you're out? You've been out for
8 years.
8 years you've been out. Okay.
Yeah, I got out in 2013.
Okay, so
no, 10 years. But then I was in the halfway house for a little bit. Yeah, 9 years. What is it? 2023. Yeah. I've been kicking now about 9 years. 9 years.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You went through that ordeal to come out the other side, and all those years later,
I had one minor hiccup on the way. I got arrested with 5 pounds of weed in Idaho.
Okay.
Coming back, I started a CBD dispensary business in 2020, and Idaho is the only place in America where CBD is illegal. And I was driving through there. Yeah, right in Coeur d'Alene on the tip. Boom. I was on my way back from Oregon. I had my paperwork and everything. I was like, bro, it's fucking CBD. Told the cop. They weren't going for it. I had to do 90 days in jail. I got lucky on that one. I thought I was going to prison. Idaho is a terrible place. Do not go to Idaho. Coeur d'Alene is terrible. Beautiful, but it's
beautiful environment.
It's like Wisconsin.
Sure.
You know, you get arrested in Wisconsin, you're fucking fucked. You know. Actually, you know what? Though I did get arrested recently within the last 3 weeks in Wisconsin for a half ounce of marijuana. 3 cartridges, and all this is on my Facebook. Everything in my life is so verifiable. I have so many people that get mad at me. I don't even know why, but I can never lie about anything. It'd tear me apart.
Especially in this day and age, it's
the technology. Travis Cullen, TravisCullen, you know, all good.
No, he's not out here to hide anything, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's on the TG
Just trying to live a good life, man.
He's living a beautiful life.
You guys don't get it. If you go to prison when you're as young as I am, if you don't make the correct decisions on what you do and how you live, you're not going to make it, especially in Terre Haute. So that's just how I lived. How I live now. Integrity is very important.
Absolutely, it is.
Hell yeah. That's why I like your guys' podcast. You are some integrity guys, and you like marijuana.
We're out here doing what we can, spreading the culture, having guests like yourself again.
The culture's important. Yeah, you got a lot of people trying to steal the culture. You got these guys that fucking sold some hemp, and they think they invented the marijuana industry. And then you got some guys that sold some hemp and love the culture of people like me. Crested River, he sold a lot of hemp, and this guy sponsored Freedom Grow.
Okay.
Teaches me, does everything, like mentors me. And there's some beautiful people in the industry, but there's some weirdos too, but you'll get that with anything.
I can imagine.
It's a great, listen, the cannabis culture and the cannabis industry is like beautiful. Like, oh, the people, like I go to these parties. I haven't been out since I went to prison, since I came home from prison. I really don't go out that much because it's always alcohol. Yeah. And even that's a relationship thing. All women, you got to drink alcohol or you're weird. I don't want to drink alcohol.
I don't.
You go out and drink alcohol, it makes you fat. Makes
True.
you out of shape.
Empty carbs.
Yeah. So now they got these THC drinks and they throw these parties and it's like the funnest thing ever. You can even have a bunch of people like me and there's no fights and like everybody's happy and you can have younger people and the cannabis community is like the best kept secret in America and the worst kept secret in America.
I was going to say, I think it's one of the worst kept secrets now. Yes.
Is this. The federal government stop indicting my brothers and sister, all races, all colors. If you go to prison for marijuana, find me. We want to help you. Freedom Grow.
Freedomgrow.org, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We'll be sure to throw up a link here at the end of the podcast. You can go in. You can learn more about those that were unfairly and unjustly prosecuted. You can donate. Please, just share the link.
Yeah, or just even if you just went to prison for a long time and it's like kind of like nonviolent. That's my goal. Let's help these people just do something besides go to prison because that's the right thing to do. And then if I ever go back to prison, which I don't think I will, I can rest easy knowing that I tried my hardest to change the system, be better, be a better person.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because that's all I know. If you've been in prison for 10 years, you're like you're thinking like, man, that part of my life still pertains to my thinking.
Yes.
Nice.
No, I can't say that I can empathize. I've never done any time behind bars myself, but I've got to imagine that if you're in that system, it certainly does form the way that you think, especially at a formidable age in your early 20s. I mean, your brain doesn't stop developing until about 26, 27, 28. Yes. So when you're going through that growing time in your life and you're in the only what I can imagine is a hellscape of federal prison.
It's a little different in there.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's certainly not hanging out in front of a fun podcast.
I was telling my mom today, I was like, and I grew up in fucked up. She's like, you didn't grow up in there? I was like, Mom, you don't remember. I grew up in prison, kind of like.
Yes.
She's like, because I grew up in a nice, decent home, St. Louis. Everything was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I just can't believe they're still locking people up for marijuana. At the end of the day, it's still happening. It's going to keep happening.
It's very odd. It's very disturbing. Yeah. But while you were in prison there, man, is there anybody notable that you
I was in prison with Peter Gotti. I was in prison with Patty DiFilippo, Las Vegas. He was been in prison for the last forever. I loved him a lot. I was in there with a lot of older Italians that were doing life sentences. And I spent a lot of time with them in Terre Haute, and I watched them pretty much just fucking die in prison. Yeah, that's the government. They don't care. Even after they've been in there for 20, 25 years, they're pretty harmless. And I had a couple mentors that helped me get through.
Okay.
It was pretty legit, yeah.
There was a couple of guys there that made the time.
Yeah, I would like run around, do favors, and hang out
Oh,
with them,
sure.
and
Okay.
kind of like, and then in the beginning, you get in a few fights, and people would start leaving you alone. You got a lighter?
Oh. Mine's in the car. That should get you there. That should get you there.
Yeah, well, so life's good, man. We got legal marijuana going on. Well, everything's good.
We do. Now, Blake and I swung by the shop the other day. Like I said, we picked up a handful of the THC drinks. I have yet to crack mine open. I was going to wait for this weekend.
They're delicious.
You were mentioning that.
My favorite's Crested River. He's got it down. I like the BLNCD.
Okay.
Yeah, all the and the mini sodas are pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what
growing,
we picked up. Was
those are
the mini
legit.
sodas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and everything's selling, and yeah, everything's really exciting right now.
Now, like you said, giving back to the community, helping people out. Any thoughts on teaching people the finer points of growing? Is that something that you're...
I think the market's going to teach them to grow weed.
Okay.
If they don't grow weed, they're in big trouble. They're not going to sell anything. It's going to be beautiful when all these plants that people are growing in Minnesota crop.
Absolutely, because we're now allowed to have up to, what is it, 8?
8 at your house.
8 at the house. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that would be a very nice piece to add in. Right? Imagine this. Right now, we have fire safety days, right? Bring kids in, they get to see the fire truck and go down the pole and meet what a first responder and an EMT does, right? What if in the near future, kids could come to a legitimate grow op and learn about the plant and learn about how it's done and learn about the horticulture?
That's already in Colorado. That's
that
coming.
Sort of thing.
The Democrats in Minnesota just made it all happen, and it's like things are going to get way better.
Thank you, Democrats.
Oh, I know. It's like, go listen to them talk. And like you look at, I was up in the chamber and you look at the right side and the Republicans are just like nobody you'd ever want to hang out with. And then you look at the left side and it's like a bunch of
definitely not part of the fucking culture.
Yeah, no. It's fucking cool, man. It's a pretty cool world we live in. Really exciting stuff's going on in this place.
No, that's absolutely wonderful there, man. So why marijuana to begin with? When you were in your ADHD?
ADHD
Okay.
for sure, yeah. ADHD got me in. They put me on Adderall. I didn't like it.
Okay.
And started smoking weed, and it's just always been my thing. Every day in prison, smoke weed, go run on the track, listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers. I loved it. Dude, I'd run 5 miles 5 times a week. Loved it. That would get out my energy. Yeah, working out.
Yes,
Get high and work out. And
that's my favorite thing to do now.
Ever since I got my new business going with my partner and stuff, I've been really smoking a lot. Make sure I test all the products.
And that's Laughing Waters in Rochester, Minnesota.
Yeah, Laughing Waters. Everything is tested and official. And I love going in and dealing with my manufacturers like Crested River, and I explain my story to them. They help me. Cultivate has been great.
How many businesses do you have going on out there then? Just the one, Laughing Waters?
I could quit everything for Laughing Waters. I'm talking about the vendors that supply me. I'm just a retail. Yes. I'm just a middleman.
Okay.
But the thing is, with my knowledge and experience, I go to the facility. Like, it's big. That's my whole thing. That's why I'm the THC expert. Like, everything is up to par on everything in my store, and I love that. It's like I love talking to people about how they make it and what's going on. I love the process. And Minnesota is amazing. Jesse Ventura is going to launch a product, and that's going to be the big thing. Celebrities are going to endorse stuff.
Sure.
And I believe Minnesota's already been trend setting. And there's MN is Ready did a lot of work. They have a lot of people. There's actually a lady from here,
And that's
Maren Schroeder.
is Ready?
Yeah, she did a ton of work, a nonprofit. She's a local, pretty much hero. She worked really hard to get the gummy bill passed. And
Okay.
she's pretty great. And there's a lot of people, like, especially Freedom Grow. And then there's a company, Blunt Strategy. They're great. You got a lot of people that were just down there to get the freaking bill passed, and the Democrats were receptive. and listened and did it.
And thank you guys all so much for fucking being receptive. I
Yeah,
can
they
only
did it. They
imagine-
brought and listened to me, and I was like, I came out my I would go downtown with my granite shop, fucking clothes on,
Okay.
and dirty up in the chambers, and they'd like come in. I knew they were a little bugged out, but I was like, "Yo, man, I'm just here for the plan." They're like, "It's cool." I was like, "All right."
No suit and tie.
Like, no one's
over
gonna
here.
arrest me. All right, fuck it, I'm in.
I can breathe easy and I can talk
Yeah, and
about
then I
what I
got to-
love.
But you get to meet all the people and the legislators. They're super cool. The Democrats are super good at the state. I'm sorry. Like, I'll fight
no
over it.
reason
I
to
watched
apologize.
it. It's like, man, they care about people's issues.
Right.
It's not, everybody says, oh, they don't care about white people. It's not true. And here's the worst one. All right, I don't know. It's my offender. So they say Elon Omar, like all white people say, oh, she's so horrible. I happened to meet her at First Avenue, right?
Okay.
She's a great person. She came in with a white guy. She was with white staff. You know, like all like there's nothing racist about this. She does not hate us. She listened to me talk about freedom grow, and there is no you, us, or them, but you get the Fox News type that like to split.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like my dumb ass happened to meet this lady 2 weeks ago, and she's fucking great, and I love her. And she cares about people in prison for marijuana. And she told me that. She said, thank you for what you're doing. I was backstage. They were all like, thank you for what you're doing, Travis. Thank you. I was like, it comes pretty naturally to me. I like getting high and I like talking about prison. So fuck it.
Exactly. The two
Yeah.
things that you know.
Yeah.
The two things that you know.
Yeah, big shout out to the Democrats. Every one of them that got the bill passed. They care about the working man. They care about poverty.
Yes.
They care about people. And
Income
people get
inequality.
distracted with one issue, you know. My one issue is marijuana, so I guess I'm hella distracted in it. I know, and I know the Democrats got me, and I feel they're gonna let my people out of jail too. And that's not with Freedom Grow. Freedom Grow's not. That's Travis Cullen saying that. I feel that eventually working with them, they're gonna correct this quickly. And I have a lot of faith. Not quickly, like I'm not saying quickly, but like the federal system is prime for correcting that, and they had a hand in it when the sentencing bad bills got passed 25 years ago. Now, those are completely different. Not the Democrat, the state. That's the thing I like about our Minnesota state legislator, and I speak for them strongly, and I really like them.
Okay.
Because they're younger. They're all races. They're everybody. You know what I mean? They're like
Representation matters,
yes,
and
like,
it's there.
and representation matters. People matter. Other races, and when we're in prison, every car's got a representative. Like every black car, you got the black. Like the black people have a lot of gangs, not in prison.
Okay.
So they each have a representative. You have the Mexicans all have representatives. So we can't just discount all these people. And white privilege is real. I said that a lot. Like if I wouldn't have been able to sell countertops when I came home, like doop doop doop, I'm Travis Cullen. Hey, I don't know a fucking thing about countertops, but you're gonna let me do it, and you're gonna give me a deposit. It would have been way harder for me. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping my brothers and sisters, all races, when they come home from
Yes.
prison and doing something, because I've been through it. And when you've been through it, it's different. It's like, I'm not an activist by choice, man. This shit just happened to me.
Absolutely. No, it's 100% something that you've been in. You don't fake the funk at all.
No, I ain't,
No.
man, because you die, bro. Why you gotta fake the funk, man? I say, and you die, and if you make a mistake, you're gonna die anyway. You can wake up and die. Everybody's gonna fucking die. I don't have 1 second to lie to any of these people for anything. You know what I mean?
Someday we're all gonna be found.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be in our
face
bed
down,
like,
gray
man, I
skin
acted
and blue
fake.
lips.
I let that guy get over on me, and all I had to do was say no. Beat it. Like if you just say no, beat it right in the beginning of the conversation. Oh no, I'm good. I'm out of here. You're lame. You're a loser. You lie. You know, it just alleviates so many problems.
Right.
But if you continue on with your friends that act like enemies, your frenemies, your friends that are your enemies, it's just gonna kill you. I don't have too many friends, but I got a couple really good ones. I love them.
Right. No. And you seem like a busy guy between the activism.
You got to
No.
stay busy. Every day I wake up, especially when it's warm in the Weasley, I wake up like just so excited running. I think about ways to make money so I can help get these people out of jail
Mm-hmm.
and send them money and make them happier. They're so fucking sad, and they're like, Valerie's thinking about me. Like I am thinking about her because I'm promoting her cause, but she's like, she doesn't have no lifelines. Like I asked her, I was like, did you talk to your mom? Everybody's gone. It's been 5 years. They're gone. So it's like, this is it for me. This is a fight. I love a good fight, and this is a fight that like I can fight forever.
That's beautiful that not
have
only
to
are
watch-
you a lifeline while they're actively in prison, but you've also made something of the industry. You've also got experience and connections that when these brothers and sisters finally get free,
Yep.
you can set them up for real. It doesn't have
Yep.
to go from one traumatic experience, 5 years in federal, 15 years in federal, 54 for that one gentleman you mentioned earlier in the show.
No, it was 54 years total combined of all of us in the bullpen. We all sat around, added up our sentence, and it came out to 54 years. And we were like, "Fuck,
fuck!"
But
That's not the
no,
number I was
so
hoping for.
Anyways, I want to say this. So this is real. It's important for me. I thought about this. So as I fight for these people in jail, it gets frustrating for me because it's so apparent that they need to be out of jail. But I remember so all the legislators are great. I love all of them, and I talked to all of them. I remember I asked them. I was like, "How did you not get mad?" Because they would sit there, the Republicans would get up and try to take all the cool shit out of the building. Like, we fucking don't want, we want to give it to the rich people. We want to take your homegirls away so the rich people can have it. We want to do this. And the Democrats would be like, no, never got mad. I was like, how did you get mad? I asked them backstage, how do you get mad? They said, Travis, you can never get mad. Never get mad, you know? I'm working on that.
No, you can never let that
You
kind
can't
of
let
an
your cool
enemy
down, man. I'm growing. Every day
burn
I'm
you
growing.
like that in that situation where they
Yeah,
feed off of that negative emotion and then they go, see, look,
Yeah.
we were trying to compromise.
Yeah.
We were just trying to do this. We were just trying to do that. We were just trying to make sure that the money got funneled in the way that we wanted it to be moved around.
No, I don't think the Democrats, because like if they were doing that, they would have took the homegirls, and that's a big sign.
Right.
They would have took the home,
And they did not.
and they didn't take the possession.
No.
And it's like, I looked at their campaigns and shit. I looked at every. I go out here about my mom. I love them. Like, they're not running. Like, this isn't they didn't do it. And then I went to Massachusetts. I asked the guys out there who, like, how is it to get a license? My homeboy's starting a girl out there. It's horrible. It's $2.5 million. Nobody, if you're
What
not,
the
yeah,
fuck?
and that's a Democrat state. So it's like, we have special legislators.
Sorry, that was 2.5 million.
Yeah, and the Dems passed it out there. So
To
it's
do what exactly?
like to start up a grow, you got to have the place leased. You got to have the plan in place. You got to have a security package. You got to have a bond. Like, so much money, and they didn't do that here. Like, they made sure that small businesses could get in. They
Thank
made sure.
God.
Yeah, man. They did a great job. They did, and I watched them do it, and I'm happy. Fuck, I could smoke weed and not get arrested.
Right.
I know the Republicans don't want that.
No, they want to fucking lock you up as long as they
Yeah.
possibly can.
As long-
Over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
and then they give their buddies, their cousins that fucking is inbred a job at the prison. You know what I mean? Well, the one over there that they don't want to talk about.
Right,
Oh, we'll give
exactly.
him jobs. We'll get a job. You know, we lock these guys up.
You're doing it good. You're doing it for
But
the country.
The drug sniffing dogs. What about the drug sniffing dogs? Yeah.
They're going to be out of a job.
Yeah, fuck. What about my mother's pain? What about my homeboy whose mother just lost 2 sons for 10 years, 11 years each? David Gale, Danny Gales. They just went to trial in St. Paul Federal just now. Yep, lost 10 years, 11 years, 5 people on that case. They all got 11 years.
Jesus, fuck. That splits up families. That takes away fathers from sons
Oh,
and
yeah.
daughters.
They don't
that
give a
takes
fuck.
away all the happy
What's up, dude? How are
memories.
you, brother?
The one and only Mr. J Havoc joining
Brother,
us
you
here
gonna
on
have-
set.
Oh, you're the fucking boss? I've seen you before. You've been in my store, right? Oh, did you? Nice. All right. I like spreading the word for my people in prison. Nice. Yeah, I remember that. Now, since I got all this great THC, I've been really indulging in it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks, though, man. I appreciate it. You know, I'm just, you know, another day. I actually didn't even remember that I was coming here today, but this is kind of how my life's been going lately.
We elevating the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Good,
Exactly.
shit, I got-
All right, let's go.
Swing it up.
Yeah, let him go. He's the boss. Jay Havoc.
We're going to get Mr. J Havoc up here.
I heard of a couple Havocs before.
That's right. Well, that's one. I mean, there's Mob Deep.
I like it.
The only other Havoc that I accept is Havoc from Mob Deep, and that is
You better watch out. There might be some gangster with the name Havoc. So let's just.
They-
You're going for it. Fuck it.
they ain't shit. They ain't got the SEO as me
I like it. I like it. Fuck him. Fuck him. I'm
That's
with
right.
you.
when I started off, listen, when I first got into the game with that name, I
How
was a
long?
teenager. I was like probably about like 15 or
That's,
so.
all right, that's yours.
So
J, I like
yep.
it.
And
The J gives you a lot of like.
exactly, it adds identity.
Yeah,
See, when I came out though, when you search for J Havoc and you went into images, it was like, but did you mean there was a motherfucker named Jake Havoc? And Jake Havoc just so happened to be a porn star. Well, guess what? Now you search my name, that's all that comes up. And I bet if you Google Jake Havoc, you'll find, did you mean J Havoc? I'm not going to test this theory, but you know, it's out there. I'm going to
Yeah.
put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Somebody else's sign in.
Bro, I'm just saying my SEO is strong. I'm willing to bet on somebody else's
with you.
computer search history that I am the one.
Oh. Oh, I brought these papers. So these
Shit.
are 5 special release papers. This one's in Hector Morena. Yep, they get it. They're with this organization. I forget the name. Somebody that helps a lot of people. So these are called and I think they give them money. Release Hector. I can't. This is the Last Prisoner Project. Big shot. Boom. That is important. And that's what drives TC to preach the word by people in the joint. I know what the fuck it's. Yeah, what's up? You got more questions?
Bro, I got questions. I'm in
First
here.
prison fight?
Yeah. Oh shit. I was actually gonna say, what is the first thing that you did to indulge yourself to make to reacclimate yourself to the world of being a free man outside of like the basic stuff like
Man.
outside of like, oh, you know, I took a shower, shit, and shave. I'm talking about what is the first thing that you did to really like get back into things? Whether you went and saw a show, you just lit a fat one up, you went and I don't know, got your taxes right. Like what made you feel like you were back in it? Like, you know, in
I
the
still
world.
never felt the same.
I feel it though.
I've
That's a lot.
never been reacclimated. I'm not the same person that left.
Yeah, and I guess you can't really be
You can't
after
like
that.
wash that shit off. I got out and I remember looking at people's cell phones and I was like, what the heck? But I did see a few cell phones in the joint. I left a good prison for Dix. I'm not gonna say they had cell phones in there, but like just
Nice,
the
okay.
technology, I remember. That
Bro,
was-
you ever seen the like, I don't know, it's like this guy that does these videos and he's like the time traveler from 2005.
yeah, that's what it was like. And it like it took me so long and I lost a lot of money when I came out because like
Yeah.
it's just not the same. Like
Nope.
even hustling weed's not the same. Pounds
Nope.
when I left were $4,000. They when I came home, they were on the 2,000, 1,800. Now they're down to 1,400. Like
It was
So
mad
there's no-
accessible now, or
Yeah.
when you came out.
I used
Yep.
to get 200 pounds of weed from Canada with my partners every freaking month, right? Fronted to me at like 3,800, and we put $4 on it and front it all out. That's how I got. That's how I turned. I did that
Yep.
for a long time when I was younger. That's how
Yep.
I have the resources I do now because I met
Yeah.
a lot of fucking people when I was doing that, and it's not like nobody gives a shit, but it's like, oh, I remember you got more time for marijuana than anybody else ever.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're cool and like.
But you did that on the strength of you were just trying to be real. Also, you didn't sell anybody out. You're just trying to be like, you know, straightforward.
That
and
all
straight up.
happens later. So what happens is you get arrested, and then you got to start deciding who you are. And somebody told me, this dude named Drama, he was a Crip, I remember. He told me in Sherburne County, he looked me in my eye, said, bro, I tell you one thing, you're going to find out who you are. And I said, yeah, you're right. I didn't say, yeah, I don't know, but now I remember he was right.
Yeah,
You got
bro.
that. It was honestly me going to prison was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, I
I
mean,
loved every minute of it.
that's wild, but I get it though, because like sometimes you need to have like a life-changing experience kind of like forced on you to
Yeah.
really be able to appreciate life
and
and,
then
be
you-
able to get yourself and find out who are you.
And then life's all about timing and fate, bro. Like
Yep.
that's my path, and I'm here right now, and I have such a strong voice and a platform, and I'm not scared
Yep.
of anything from my people in the joint. You know,
Amen, bro.
it's strong, and people love my message. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's like I've been talking about this shit forever. People love it, and I got the Freedom Grow is like the right avenue, and it's such an amazing time.
Yeah, and you got the right message too, and you've had the right message and you were on it already, and now it's like now it's more valid because it's not just
Yeah.
like the people in your circle that are accepting your message. Now it's like it's more mainstream.
Yeah, well,
Nobody can say
I'll
it
tell you what
is
happened.
not.
This crazy story. I was building a house in Long Lake a few years back. I watched The Need for Speed with Randy Lanier on Netflix, right?
Okay.
And then I seen he got out. So I just messaged the dude on Facebook because I'm that kind of guy. I got my paperwork. I send him what I do is I send my paperwork because I got my paperwork. And he messaged me back. I said, man, that's so cool. You're out. You're amazing. Because bro, he got sentenced to life. And then because he had a casino that the feds took illegally, him and his partner started appealing 27 years later, and he got out. Like, can you, like, I know what those tunnels are, those prisons are like that he was in, and I can't imagine. I went in there with hope. I went in there a young kid. I had hope. They never took my hope. I had hope every day.
Amen.
I had hope. I knew something was going to be better. I knew that, like, I don't want to stab anybody. I got to fight. You got to walk the line. You know, you want to do enough where you can get left alone, but you don't want to go all in because then it's just crazy. But
Exactly.
he
You got to find
didn't
the
have what I'm
balance.
trying to say is he didn't have any hope. So for me to know that feeling, and I have so much respect and love. And he messaged me back and he said, "Yo, that's cool, man. You sound like a nice kid. Like, come down to Florida." I was like, "Okay." This is like a year later. I was getting into marijuana now, and I started printing out stuff and going to the event at St. Paul Frog Days or whatever with Susan, my partner in the volunteering. And he seen I did, but anyways, he put me in the organization. He told me that, so I know out of respect for him and everybody else through Freedom Grow that they're the right vessel in an organization for me to be up in Minnesota.
Okay, bet. Yeah, that makes a huge difference to know the people. It's not only about just like having the right message, but it's about having the right people that can help you back up your message and being able to like bring it to the larger audience and the crowd. 'Cause people have been ready for it.
We're
but
looking
now
for
it's like-
celebrities. Sorry, I don't. I mean, cut you. I smoke a lot of weed, and I'm the celebrity outreach coordinator for Freedom Grow. That's my official title for the organization.
Yeah.
So we're looking for celebrities to just get up, hold this, say, "Why is this dude in jail for marijuana?" You know, why aren't celebrities? And they will. Everybody will too. If you just get the message to them, it's all love. That's the thing about cannabis. You can't even be mad because it's pretty much all love.
Yep.
That's they hate. They get
100%.
dealt with.
You know, we got to be dealing with these kind of things because the fact that people are going to jail for doing years in the double
Well, they
digits.
went to jail. Most of the feds aren't doing it. They do it a little bit still. They just did it to my guys in Minneapolis, but it was really vicious from the 80s, like after 88 to basically 2010. It was really bad. The sentencing, how they attacked, like under Bush, it was charged
those 3
to max.
strikes too. You know, once they pulled that out, it just became a problem.
Clinton put that in, so it's like I feel like the Democrats know on a federal level, on the state level, they're fucking amazing. I love everyone.
Yeah,
but
on the federal level, because on the federal level, while they do a lot of good stuff, they're also like the Overton window has moved very much over to the right wing.
Well, you know, you don't know yet because they got to say a lot of stuff to get elected. They don't. They're not. When they got in power in Minnesota, they fucking.
One thing that you notice when you pay attention to presidential elections, presidential candidates, when it comes to like the actual general election, they get a lot more liberal. They get a lot more left wing, especially Democrats. But even like to a point, like Republicans. Like you look at Trump, you look at when he was he was platforming himself. One of like a couple of the things that he was actually running on were actually kind of progressive ideas. The idea was he talked about universal health care and some other stuff. And then as soon as he became elected, you know, obviously all of that shit, like, you know, went the way of the dinosaur. But, you know, like, and Joe Biden, like, when it came to shit, he was immediately like, you know, we're going to make marijuana legal, or we're going to at least think about it. And we're going to do this and that. And, you know, that's why it's like I got respect for, like, Tim Walz as much as these, like.
Jess Hansen, fucking Zach Stevenson, fucking champion the bill. We're not taking no for it. Talk to people like me.
Yep. Exactly, and that's the difference, you know. Like I got respect for him as much as these crazy ass motherfucking, you know, like local Republicans want to just be like, no, he's terrible.
They're just haters. They watch Fox News. They get their talking points. They don't know what they're talking about, and they get a bunch of people that just vote a certain way because that's the way they vote and they get elected. But we believe that if we can get them in the next election, they're gone, and like we can keep having legal weed. And we can keep smoking our weed because there's a whole camp of haters with the Republicans, and they're in the industry. I don't know if they're going to say this, but I feel like there's dudes that are Republican and in the cannabis industry a little bit already.
Yeah, those are called libertarians.
They just start hating. They just find something to hate on. But the Democrats passed the most beautiful bill in the world.
Yep.
And it's like, Man, come on.
because of what it represents. Because also they
social equity.
exactly. And if you saw, like they, I believe it was NPR or it was the Star Tribune that just came out with a post. That
I'm
was
gonna be
like,
on NPR next month.
bet that's what I'm talking about, my man. Yeah, they just got out there and there was just a post about like just not even legal recreational weed, but just off of THC based products and like
Yeah, so
gummies and edibles and stuff.
stupid.
They made, I believe it was like about $4 or $5 million so far as at the state level,
Yeah,
which is
they
nothing
sell.
compared to what it's going to be too. But just think, that's $4 or $5 extra million that's going back into infrastructure that can go back into schools and all this other stuff. So you don't have to worry about getting taxed, especially if you don't smoke weed. You don't have to worry about so much of that tax money coming out of your money. You can look at like there's another stream of revenue that's in there and it's made to actually enrich your people. You know, even if you don't like weed, you're telling me that you don't like your roads to be fixed. You're telling me that you don't like your schools to be more well funded and that you don't like your programs and
Please
shit to.
don't say that.
You know,
But don't say they don't like. Even
no,
hearing
it's a,
someone
people
say
because
doesn't like
people
weed pisses me off.
because people do love it. They do love it. It's just they've been trained to look at it with like a side eye because there's these industries that put so much money into that messaging, and even the government
Yeah.
backed
Oh,
up
yeah,
that
money.
messaging.
Yeah,
It still
money.
does on the federal level.
But then
Yeah.
you got representatives like Jess Hansen, Zach Stevenson, Senator Port that like really care about people's feelings and
Yep.
and like the majority of Minnesotans are not wealthy and
Mhm.
not out. We're in Minneapolis, we're fucking in Golden Valley, we're in Brooklyn Park, you know, like we just want to smoke fucking weed and they get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's like, you know, and that seems like a blunt way to say it, but that's actually, you know, it's really there's more to it than
Oh,
that.
yeah,
It's
and
like
then
it's
they
a
pull over
revolutionary
bla-
statement.
Yeah, they pull over black people.
Yup.
Once they pull you, so black people get pulled over more than white people. I don't care what anybody fucking says, all right?
Yep.
Please don't pull me over for saying that.
Yeah,
Well, weed's
exactly.
legal now, so I don't give a fuck. They can
Oh,
pull me over
they'll
want.
find a reason to still pull
No,
your ass over.
police are not our enemy. They're not.
Yeah.
I have
And
to.
they shouldn't be.
No, they're not, and it's better now that weed's legal. And it's like to say police is our enemy is to say that society as a whole is failing. And I've been in societies where it's upside down in prison, where the fucking biggest, baddest guy's in charge, and it's not that great.
No.
You know,
Yep.
you want fucking just and integrity, and like that shit matters because once that slope goes, you're fucked. And like, who
Yep.
else is gonna come?
And that's the tricky thing, and that's where it's like
It's politicians.
it's also a little bit, you got to reimagine like what world do you want to be in, because a lot of our systems are failing, and with the policing system the way it's set up, it's working the way it should, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, we just had a whole. Okay, so you can, for someone who's been in the criminal justice system his
Yeah,
whole life,
you get
not
it.
as a lawyer, it's been fucked up for a long time. And I
Yeah.
feel like after George Floyd, it was like kind of like a reset button for everything. And they're reevaluating a lot of shit.
They had to be, even the ones
yeah,
that
they made
don't
them.
want to.
Those dudes in Minneapolis got burnt down, and they don't fucking want that to happen again.
Yep.
And that drives a lot of the policies, and you know, the Democrats just get it. They
Yeah.
get it. They don't want to shoot the protesters.
Yep.
Basically, they want to.
Yeah.
They get that. People are upset about George Floyd.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Fuck. They're
Yeah.
mad.
Exactly. People got not just mad.
I'm mad too.
and
I
it's-
didn't like it at all. It's fucking bullshit.
And that's the thing. It's like it wasn't even just the George Floyd thing. It's like George Floyd was just like
It's the igniter.
exactly. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, it was
Yeah,
like there was so much
yeah.
animosity that had been built up for 10 years.
And then
and
Minneapolis
COVID,
shine. Let
yep.
me tell you, there's like a dude who did Fed Time 041. That's my last three. Like
Yep.
Minnesota got put on the map for that, for whatever it's worth. I'm not endorsing the riots, but god damn, they represented.
Yeah, and it's like I wouldn't endorse riots either, but like, you know, even MLK said, you know, riots are the language of the voiceless. When you have nothing, when speaking doesn't do the job, people get frustrated. And a lot of that property damage wasn't even from the people protesting. Most of the people were peaceful. The people that were really causing the most damage either came from out of town,
Yes,
or they were
100%.
people
I
that
was
were
down there.
disrupting.
I
So it's
saw it,
like,
yes, 100%.
yeah, like-
the protesters, the ones, especially like the black people, they were
Yeah.
like protesting. They were like, it was
'Cause
the
they
kids
know
from
what-
fucking Zimmerman.
Yeah.
They were running in the banks and burning down the
Yep.
buildings.
Like
and
you
shit.
saw the you know, the third precinct where the way that got burnt down, they found out who did it, and that was some white kid from like Colorado. So it wasn't even
Oh
somebody
yeah,
that was like nearby.
my lawyer represented. You know the guy who
Oh,
shot
word?
the AK-47 into the police station, only got 5 years.
Oh what?
Yep, Joe represented.
Damn, that's kind of fucking wild, honestly.
different times, man.
Exactly, it is way different times, and it
Fucking
also
shit's
depends on
changing.
like the context, because they were like, we understand the anger that was involved in
Oh,
here.
they get it.
Yeah.
The police, the
Tell me
system
about it.
gets it. Yeah, the system gets it. They get
Yeah.
it, and it's like I'm glad I wasn't in there when that happened, and it's been fun. Not fun, but I guess it's just as an observer.
It's been interesting to
watch it
observe.
change. Who would have
Yeah.
thought any? Like I believe in my heart, George. Rest in peace, George Floyd. I'm not
Yep.
much respect. I don't mean to use your name, but he's the reason why marijuana is legal.
I feel like it kickstarted like a lot of like people are frustrated
Yeah, I think
and they
so,
need
too.
something to hold. And honestly, it's something they've been talking about for a while. Like even Walls was talking about this for a while, but the problem is Democrats did not have enough power in
Who would have thought they would have won last time? Oh
Yeah,
my
right?
gosh.
And it's because there was so much like, just frustration over the shit, over the status quo, that it's like it's not going to necessarily happen every time, but it's like all of that
I
aligned,
hope so.
And we can only hope. The only way that we're going to continue to have progress and we're going to move in the right direction is if we mobilize when
Yeah.
it comes
I'll
time.
be doing that.
And not just, and the problem is people just mobilize when it comes to presidential elections, when they got to mobilize every 2 years when it comes to those midterms too, because those midterms are what really set the playing field for the presidential elections. So the only reason we got this legalized is because of the midterms, because we were able to flip both the House and the Senate,
Yep.
and they couldn't just have one fucking monkey stop the show when it came to getting this
Yeah.
bill
Oh, yeah. And
passed.
they did. And the best thing is they didn't sell us out. Let me say that again. As a fucking dude, they couldn't pay me to say this. They can't. I don't get shit. I don't even ever think I'll get a license, man. I'm a kid from I'm a criminal. Like I've been arrested so many times. I probably got the worst record, but they stuck up for us,
Yep.
and I appreciate it for whatever it's worth. We have a fair system.
Yep.
It's a fair,
It's
it's
more
accessible system. Well, I'm just talking about the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the law. They say I don't know. I'm not speaking on the system. I'm talking about the law
The
that
law,
the
yeah.
Democrats passed with the lobbyists.
It's pretty reasonable for what it could. It's
Oh,
versus
it's very
especially
accessible.
especially compared to
for,
what it
for
could
poor
be.
people. For
Yeah.
the average Joe, it's very accessible, and that is very important. And for felons, it's accessible, and that is my thing.
Yep.
And I could get in it. Like, I'm a felon for marijuana. I don't have any other felons besides marijuana. No,
Exactly,
like-
which means that you have the ability to get in and legally have that business
and I
yourself
should
too.
be, and it should be where I get it first with social equity. I don't know though. I'm sure there's so many people trying to pay that shit off. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Oh, for real. I'm
Like,
sure.
who else got a felony like me? I did 8 years at 21 as a first-time felon for marijuana. Like,
Oh,
someone else tell me they have that. I want to hear one
Exactly.
person in fucking Minnesota that can claim that.
man, that's crazy. That's such a crazy amount of time. Okay. My one other question, just to kind of like mellow it out and kind of bring it into the mood of everything. Who is your like favorite artist? Maybe it's a favorite artist to smoke to. Maybe it's a favorite artist that it's like that's kind of like home to you. Is there any like musician, rapper, hip hop artist, singer that really is like kind of a comfort food almost?
I like Gucci Man.
Okay. Okay. I can't even be mad. He's about to come out with a song with fucking J.
This
Cole
shit's
out of all
hard,
people,
man. And I just know a little bit about the guy, and he's fucking crazy.
Okay.
But no, I like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I run to Red Hot
Bet.
Chili. I'm trying to think anybody that would support the things he talks about. Gucci Man talks about are so criminal that he has to support Freedom Grow. And that's my thing. I want to get in front of the people that so many people are about this life and helping the people in federal prison. I just feel like Freedom Grow, we need to send the money to them, and then they send the money to the inmates in there. We actually
Yep.
send money on their books.
Oh, really? So
Fuck
it all
yeah.
goes to commissary?
Yeah.
Oh, bet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what's beautiful about it, because if they're going to be stuck in the system, they're going to be stuck in, locked up in incarceration.
Oh, and they send out a newsletter. Oh, yeah. To me, I know what it means to them. I know
Yeah.
it's just like the coolest thing in the world. I was in there digesting so much information because I was appealing the case. I met so many beautiful friends in the law library going through all that. I have some of
Yeah.
my best friends in the world from prison, but
Yeah.
I just have a bunch of information about their tactics to get this 23-year sentence as far as the government. I know I know how they do it. I know their enhancements. I know their charging. I know what somebody can say to me on the street that would trigger that crime. I know what the crime is. I know what the crime is before they say it. I know what the crime is somebody's trying to get me involved in. I don't do none of that shit.
Yep.
Fuck that. I'll sell a dime bag. If they got a conspiracy, they're a fucking rat. Unless I know they're thorough. But I wouldn't even get involved. Because people like crack. Everybody wants to go home to their fucking girl or wife or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, that's all.
Yeah,
people
they're all
want.
that sweet shit. When you're younger, it's like a little better.
Yeah.
But now there's no hope for having a bunch of your homies. And that's the thing with the
Yep.
criminal shit. You only get your loved ones in trouble.
Yeah.
It's All that
Exactly.
happens.
It's not worth it because you're bringing everybody down with you. So
Yeah,
the best thing that
everybody
you can do
hates
is do better.
everybody. Everybody
Yep.
hates everybody in the end.
Yep. So like the best thing that you could do is just try to do your best, and I think that kind of brings our time to a close.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thank you so
guys.
much, my man. It's been dope. Everybody go, if you're local in Rochester, go support Laughing Waters. They're right over off of Elton Hills Drive. They're a great shop already. They just opened up a couple weeks ago. My man here is the big boss man, and he hooked me up, and he was a great. I met him when I just was kind of in the area going home, and like man was just like very cool right from the beginning. And he was good to work with, and he has good product, and he's only going to get more good stuff. So
Hell
go
yeah.
there, check
And
it
I'ma
out,
check everybody.
support local business, and also look at Freedom Grow. Make sure that you look it up and you get involved if you can. It's in the chat. Also check out man, what are those Netflix plugs you wanted to plug again?
Randy Lanier, The Need for Weed, Netflix docu-series. I think it's like 2 or 3. Yeah, he's the man. He's like the head. He's such a good person. He holds no animosity towards all the rats. Even I'm like, man, I'm not mad at any rats, I guess, But like he's
But to
yoga,
really
dude.
have
He's
that
like,
zen
if
about
you
it.
can get that where he's at in life,
Yeah.
you're fucking doing
Doing
good.
good, yeah.
Yeah. He's a
All
great,
right,
great man.
Well, shit, look that up and make sure that you go check him out. Go check out Laughing Waters. Look at DarkGemsINTL.com for all of the information for everything that we're going to be doing. Thank you so much for riding with us for this whole time. We really do appreciate you. We're going to keep putting out great content. Just follow us, follow the shows, and make sure to sign up for the hottest scene in the Midwest and get with it. I'm Jay Havoc, my man Travis Cullen, and we, of course, have a whole squad here. Y'all have a good night.